Hello, beautiful bookish people. My name is Hannah, and today we're doing a special reading vlog.
Yep, that's me.
And what are we reading for this very special reading vlog, you may ask? Well, thank you for asking. And that is the love triangle I hear everyone talking about, the Clockwork series by Cassandra Clare. So, if you don't know, hi, my name is Hannah. I love love triangles, and everyone on BookTube seems to love this love triangle, and I'm the type of person that is very nosy. I love to know the insider gossip, if you will. So today I just want to know the insider gossip about Will Herondale. I want to know his tragic backstory. I want to see if it's worth the hype. So that's what we're doing today, is we're just gonna hopefully be binge reading these and producing a video for you of my thoughts. Reading them for the first time. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I can't promise you much, but I can promise you, me, and Big Time Rush are gonna have a good time. What Big Time Rush? It's gonna be a big night. That seems like a dumb enough intro, so I'll just get to reading. Hi, welcome to my room at a slightly different angle after we've read a couple chapters of Clockwork Angel. Why did I forget it? I'm gonna make a prediction. I think you can probably have a drinking game based on how many times somebody references a classic work of literature. Because right from the get-go, Tessa's like, I know I'm a Jane Eyre. And with that single description alone, I know who you are. So right from the get-go, Tessa gets captured by this thing called what is that Lauren Oliver book? Pandemonium? Shoot. Right from the beginning, Tessa gets captured by the Pandemonium Club. And the Pandemonium Club reveals to Tessa that her brother asked them to come get her. And I'm like, that's suspicious.
That's weird.
So they're making her test her sort of supernatural powers, because this is a Cassandra Clare book. Kind of torturing her, making her take potions, making her read Charles Dickens, for heaven's sake. And Tessa runs away, but gets caught. I have not a whole lot to say about chapter 2, except that it starts with a Lord Byron quote, which is, between two worlds, life hovers like a star. And if anyone's watching, the key to my heart is Lord Byron, because yes, I did like that and I did fall for that. But if we were making it a drinking game, I would be drunk already. So that is all I have to say as of right now. We have not met Will, which is fine, but it better be a good entrance, that's all I'm saying. We've met Will Herondale, and I can contest that was a great entrance. He's charming, charismatic, and he knows Latin. What else could you want from a boy? But, so basically, Will Herondale rescues Tessa, who's apparently a shapeshifter. Didn't know that. Oh, you know what I should probably do? Spoilers. This is going to be a spoiling vlog. But yes, Tessa is a shapeshifter. And so Will comes and rescues her, and it's so fan fiction-y, I can't with you guys. And while they're escaping, Will makes the reference, oh, it's hot as hell, or Dante's hell in here, and Tessa's like, no, sir. According to your reference, Dante, the ninth circle of hell, is actually called. And I was like, yes, Tessa! Show him up with classic literature knowledge. Hi, I'm an English major. Okay, on that note, I gotta go. Alright, howdy hi. So, we've read some more, and I can now tell you that the Pandemonium Club is just mundanes, aka normal people, messing with the supernatural. And I love that. I will say, I put Will on probation. He says he doesn't like poetry. It's a good thing you made a good first impression, because I would have written you off purely based on that. But, on that note, we have finally met Jem. In first impression, okay. Jem is a 1800s sad violinist. I feel if he was alive today, he might be Jughead.
I don't fit in.
I'm about to tell you something that has absolutely nothing to do with the plot, but I find it extremely hilarious, and that is the fact that Will Herondale is Welsh. All my life, I thought he was English. The marketing team, Emma Books, you have lied to me. I'm just kidding. I'm being dramatic. But, I'm gonna get back to reading. Okay, I'm gonna say this once, and once only. You can tell that Cassandra Clare was deep into fandom culture. I'm talking, I bet she had Tumblr posts, and she was on the internet every episode that Supernatural came out. Because Cassandra Clare, here's what she's really good at, is picking out the iconic scenes that everybody in the fandom talked about the next day. So, for example, there's this scene between Tessa and Jessamine is this very much girly girl, wants to get married to get out of the Shadowhunter lifestyle immediately, as soon as she can. And so they're just casually talking about Will. Jessamine is just talking, and then a goblin pops out and she just kicks its butt with her parasol without even like skipping a beat. And because it's like this parasol, it like sticks out because it gives you almost this like tangible item that you're able to imagine mixed with the supernatural world, that it makes it stick out and very memorable. And that is what I will give Cassandra Clare credit for. It's just being so entrenched in fandom culture that she knows what will make a scene iconic. You know what I mean? But on that note, I am putting the pieces together. So that club at the beginning of the novel, Pandemonium Club, has been killing girls on the streets of London for this guy named the Magister, which is the overarching threat of the novel. And there's these automatons that are the Clockwork things. You get it? Clockwork. I just need one of them to be an angel and we can roll credits. And Nathaniel, Tessa's brother, is providing this Magister with the parts for the automatons, which again is suspicious.
That's suspicious.
That's weird. I don't even think I can trust Nathaniel, and I've never even met him. But if I know anything about YA trends during this time, it's don't trust the brother that we don't know. Okay, here's what I've come to conclude about Will and Jem. Actually, this is the most important part. Let me get fancy. Let's try to analyze Cassandra Clare right now. Okay, Jem, this is how I see it. The two guys are kind of like the both sides of your brain. Jem is the left side. He's logical, he's reasonable, he's soft, and he's somber, and he thinks things through almost to a detrimental rate. Versus Will is the right side of your brain, which has a lot of passion, creativity, and love. And Will, it's where your love for poetry comes from, thank you very much. So that's kind of how I see them. It's like kind of like equal parts of the same brain. It just depends on what kind of thinker you are, which one you're gonna go for. Because me in high school would have totally went for the logical, reasonable, kind person that listens. But now, 23-year-old me is like, haha, I don't care if he doesn't like poetry. We banter and we flirt, and that's love. No, it's not. But according to Cassandra Clare, it might be. But just for a second, I just want to talk about the attic scene. Moving on. I keep jokingly saying, like, I'm updating you about the plot. Here's what happens now, like, or here's what you really need to know. But I feel the same way as Cassandra Clare. I'm presenting it to you the same way Cassandra Clare is presenting it, because the plot really is in the background, man. Cassandra Clare. You really said, let me give you this appetizer of a plot, but really the main course is the love triangle, you know what I mean? I feel like Cassandra Clare has these great ideas, but none of it, literally none of it is explored. And I'm like, Cassandra Clare, that's so interesting, let's talk about it. But she's like, no. Cassandra Clare, why do these mundane people want to be involved in the supernatural? And she's like, no, we're talking about these people and their love for A Tale of Two Cities. It's fun. I think right now it's a solid 3 stars, which is not bad. like at all. It's just a fun, jaunty ride. And I'm still waiting for my love triangle, but I'm hoping that'll be in book 2. So I am not gonna lie to you because I fully committed a track 1 lover era Taylor Swift because
I forgot that you existed.
it's been about 2 weeks since I've touched a Cassandra Clare book, but I am ready to jump back into the supernatural love triangle. I hear this is where the love triangle amps up. I'm excited to see if it's held up to my standard. I have high hopes though, because from what I hear, it has a lot of angst and demons. And what more do you need? Okay. Cassandra Clare is starting it off right because we get a cemetery scene right at the very beginning. Cassandra Clare, that is the way to my heart. And apparently ghosts are people who are buried. That's cool world building. Will it ever be explored? Probably not, but I want to let you know that I think that's cool. And already, Clockwork Prince is giving me better politics than City of Heavenly Fire ever did. So we get this scene where people are coming for Charlotte. And I don't think I've introduced you to Charlotte. Charlotte is the 23-year-old female who's in charge of the Shadowhunter Academy. And she's cool. I like her a lot, actually. But people are coming for her because what? She's a female. And there's a lot of other political things going on. Like, people want to control the Shadowhunter Academy, so they're invalidating Charlotte as a leader as a result. It's not just sexism. It's political, bureaucratic sexism. So, and I gotta let you know, I am kind of a sucker for messed up bureaucratic situations where we know there is a common good, but are we fighting for it? That's right. No. Tell me why I find that comforting. I don't know. It feels like realism to me. Jessamine is married to Nate? Excuse me. Let's roll back the clip on when I said Nate was suspicious. I don't even think I can trust Nathaniel, and I've never even met him. This is a gut thing, and you trust your gut, especially in a Cassandra Clare book. Well, don't kiss your cousin, okay? Okay, it is the next day and I've officially finished Clockwork Prince. Hold on, my mood lighting isn't on. Just a tad bit better. So I kind of wanted to finish this book before I really gave you a perspective on the love triangle because that's why we were going into this book, to see if this love triangle holds up. And I will say, I think Cassandra Clare does the love triangle better than most because there's mutual love and respect with all parties. So sort of at the beginning or middle area of this book, Jem really did propose to Tessa because he's been in love with her practically since she came into the door, and they've bonded. They have great conversations. He even reads poetry for her, like a good boy. We also find out the big, bad, tragic backstory of Will Herondale, and I really should have predicted something like this. It makes sense. So basically, when he was 12, he basically opened Pandora's box, and a demon popped out and was basically like, "Now you are cursed, that whoever loves you will immediately die." And so that's why he's really cold and mean to Tessa. And like, can I just say this? I know a lot of people are like, Will Herondale is mean, and that's why I don't like him. Can I be honest? I didn't think he was that mean. Like, in the end of Clockwork Angel, he was basically like, "Hey Tessa, yeah, warlocks can't have kids." And like, that's why we're mad at him? For like telling her the truth about her supernatural ability? Because all I really saw for meanness was sarcasm. But It might be because I've read The Cruel Prince before this book, and like that's bullying, guys. But just, let's go back to the love triangle. But just as Will Herondale has found out his curse was just a mere trick from the demon, he comes back to the Shadowhunter Academy to find out that his best friend is engaged to the person he loves. Dun dun dun! Yes, and let me tell you why I think Will Herondale is superior. But I think Will Herondale is superior because here's the thing. I think there is a difference between a boy who will read poetry for you and a boy who already understands poetry and can have an intellectual conversation about it. One is doing it to make you happy, which is great, and one understands it and doesn't have to look up definitions of what rubrics mean. Does that make sense? One wouldn't pick it up without you, and the other already can quote A Tale of Two Cities. Like, I think Tessa and Will match each other at their core more. So that's why I'm Team Will. Are you ready to be amazed by my amazing athletic ability? Oh, ow, I actually hurt myself. Okay, guys, I'm like low-key out of breath. But we have officially started Clockwork Princess, and it starts off with some wedding planning. Because if you remember, the last time we left off, Jem and Tessa are engaged. So we're planning our wedding, we're trying on dresses at the academy, and then boom! A giant worm attacks the institution. And we're not talking like an itty bitty worm, we're talking like the type of worms you see from Dune. Coming out of the earth, bloodsuckers that are monsters. And it turns out, I didn't tell you about these two characters, but there's these two twins named Gideon and Gabriel, and their father is trying to sabotage Charlotte. And it turns out he was actually the giant worm. Cassandra Clare books really are just a soap opera. Because their plot twists are solely based on familial relationships. So it's like, plot twist, Will's sister shows up. Tessa's brother might be evil. That, like, literally, I think the best way to describe these books are just purely soap operas. Alright, I can finally update you on, like, at least a good portion of this book. So, we think Jem has died. But because we think that Jem is dead, there's this really interesting conversation that Will and Tessa have about what it's like to lose your parapetai, and which is basically just your demon hunting brother, best friend, soulmate type of gig. Because, like, Will could literally feel that the line was cut between him and Jem. And I liked that little sad moment we had with Will, because always give me the angst. But instead of going for the actual plot, Cassandra Clare decides to turn up the soap opera about 10 times more. And because we think that Gemma is dead and we've had a lot of suppressed feelings for Will, we kind of just hook up with him. And then, but guess what, guys? Jem isn't dead. Gasp! And guess what he walks in on? Tessa and Will in bed! Which feels like the equivalent of the "we were on a break" discussion from Friends.
We were on a break!
Because technically speaking, was Jem dead? Yes, because he turned immortal for Tessa. But the point is not on the logistics of if they were on a break or not, or if he was dead or not. The point is how fast Tessa hooked up with Will. And yeah, I've been Team Will this entire time, but I have some sympathy for Jem. And then he rips the carpet underneath my feet because he's literally like, okay guys, you guys are good, you can do whatever you want. And I'm like, Jem, wow, you really have no backbone, do you? Sad day. Okay guys, we are back and we have officially finished this bad boy, Clockwork Princess. Did we finally see the automaton army? Yes. Was it a little bit underwhelming? Yes. Am I surprised? No. I'm really proud of Tessa. She turned into an angel and literally crushed the villain within her hands. And like one half of my brain was like, that was really messy. There was too much back and forth. It was kind of anticlimactic. And the other half is like, but you don't care. Because if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. These books are soap operas. Listen, my grandma had telenovelas. My mom had 91210, and I sure will have Cassandra Clare books as the soap operas. I will say though, like, these characters didn't ever feel real to me. I don't know if that's controversial to say, but they all kind of felt like caricatures like you would see in a soap opera. They never really expanded from their stereotypical bad boy, sophomore, bookworm type of people. Like, it felt like Cassandra Clare gave them one attribute, and that was the one attribute they were known for. And like, sure, I'm a bookworm, but I also paint. You know what I mean? People have multiple facets, but it felt like Cassandra Clare just shoehorned them into one, which means they didn't ever feel real to me. And I also, hate to say it, didn't like this ending. I didn't like, sounds mean, I didn't like that Tessa got both boys. So what basically happens is she marries Will, and since she's a warlock, she lives forever, and when he dies, then she just goes back to Jem, and they meet on the bridge, which is his favorite spot, which is cute and sweet. But I just feel bad for Jem, because like he has to live with the knowledge that he was second best to Tessa in Tessa's life. And like, personally, just on personal note, I don't think I could go back to someone if they chose someone over me. I had a good time with it, but I think I might have to take a break from Cassandra Clare, because that is not what I wanted. So those are kind of my opinions on the Infernal Devices. Are they a fun ride? Of course. Are they going to change your life? No. But neither does a soap opera, and we all still need that dramatic angst in our life. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Keep reading and all that jazz. Okay, Hannah, stop being stupid. Oh my gosh, why can't I speak? I love that that's the common theme of this video, is just read poetry. Plot doesn't matter. Angst and characters do. But if we were making classic book wait, cut that. It's fine. You hear that, fellas? Just tell me you like poetry, and we're yours.